Okay.
Okay. And there was a caucus meeting today that we needed a report from.
Yeah, well, and let me first say thanks to all of y'all for what you're doing with Truthful Tuesday, Moral Monday, whatever you agree to call the action. It is very much necessary. And my colleagues are here, Representative Alexander, Representative Hodges, the chair of the Legislative Black Caucus, Harold Mitchell, and Representative Leon Howard. While it's just us, I think it would be accurate to say that the Legislative Black Caucus is in full support of what you are attempting to do as far as awareness.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I'm not taking words from my chairman, but because we represent the least of these, and it's not just people of color, it's all stripes, we particularly are interested and supportive of what you're trying to do. We've got 2 or 3 events that we've been to and 2 more that we need to go to. So I want to say, when you see us ease out here, please don't take it as us not being interested in what you're doing, because we are. All I need you to do is tell me what it is you want or need me to do. I want to encourage you. I want to just leave you with a couple of points. Number 1, I learned a long time ago that you don't wait for a big crowd to come, that you stay focused on what it is you're trying to do. I would call to your attention the point that Reverend Nelson Rivers made about awareness, ignorance, lack thereof. What I see a big need for here in this state is education about what the Affordable Care Act is. And that's where the kind of coalition that the Progressive Network and all of the organizations around this table have been able to build. I would secondly suggest to you that South Carolina, and I'm not sure, Reverend, who said that about South Carolina is too small.
James Pettigrew,
Okay.
1954.
All right. Well, y'all know what I'm about to say. Too small to be a country, too large to be an insane asylum, or whatever way that goes. I would suggest to you that if you want to see an insane asylum, come down to the South Carolina General Assembly, particularly on the House side. We'll try to assume that the senators have whatever. But the point I really want to make to y'all really is this. I'm an organizer. I'm a community organizer at heart, and I believe in institutional organizing as opposed to issue organizing. And if you are one who is intent on changing institutions and changing systems, you have to be in it for the long haul. It ain't no short-term kind of thing. You ain't gonna march on us and then, you come down to the General Assembly and we all say, oh, sing kumbaya, and we change. That's not gonna happen. We've got some very hard hearts who are serving in the South Carolina General Assembly.
Yeah.
A lot of it is because they just simply don't know any better. A lot of it is because they do know better. But until the silent majority take over from this vocal minority, nothing in this state will change. And I ask you, I beg you to stay focused, to don't get distracted, to don't turn around, to don't wait for a swell of folk to come on. It's not going to happen. They will come when you're successful.
Yeah.
And I'm a firm believer that you would be surprised at how much you can get done when you don't care about who gets the credit. And I believe that this is an issue. Affordable health care. People being able to get sick and not be concerned about how to pay for it. I think this is a defining issue for South Carolina, because all of us, regardless of our circumstance, know somebody in our circle who doesn't have health insurance, who can't afford to get sick. And so I see this, y'all, as a galvanizing moment in South Carolina history, an opportunity for all of us to come together. And my final point is this. I see it as a sign. I ain't no preacher, Reverend. But I see this as a sign when the Pope, Father Francis, has just flipped the script entirely on the most, well, I don't want to offend no Catholics, so I'll stop at this. But when the Pope says it's time for us to think about the least of these, when the Pope starts talking about public policy and the impact of policy on people who are struggling, it's time for those of us who are in positions of power and those of us who are just sitting there and ain't got no power, but we sitting there. It's time for us to make some noise because there are people out there who are counting on us. And I would suggest to you that if you've got a member of the South Carolina legislature who you have not been in contact with, you need to make contact with them. And please, under no circumstances, make the assumption that because they have a D after their name, they're right on this issue. Because that ain't necessarily so. Like Zora Neale Hurston says, because we the same skin don't mean we can. So y'all stay focused. Know that we are behind you. Know that some of us have had this conversation. Reverend Nelson told us on the call the other night. Some of us going to have to go to jail. I've started having conversations with the love of my life, my significant other, so he'll be prepared. Try to scrape up a little bond money. I'm ready. And I'm speaking just for me. But I appreciate it, and I hope y'all will excuse us. And Mr. Chairman, I'll yield to Chair of the caucus and my other colleagues who are here if they have anything to say. I don't know what you wanted, but that's what I felt compelled to say.
I wanted to hear if there was anything discussed when Reverend